Hey everybody, NecroVMX here, and you know what this is. You read the title, right? Well, in case you didn't, maybe you're illiterate, I don't know. I think I do get some illiterates on my channel. This is the very last video in this series of a look at all the Nintendo home consoles and handhelds and such. So remember last time we took a look at the DS, which is the latest handheld console from Nintendo, and today we're going to take a look at their latest console, which is of course the Nintendo Wii. Now, I don't want to spend too much time talking because I got a lot of stuff to show you, but before I do want to talk about the Wii very briefly. The Wii was originally called the Revolution, and it's an interesting console because it's sort of controversial. It originally was envisioned as something that was going to be, amazing, the name Revolution and everything, but when it came out, not so much when it was released, but when it was first revealed to the public, people were a little skeptical. It didn't seem to be that powerful graphically. The graphics in the games that were shown were very simple, and there was a lot of focus on the motion control, and the controller, which I'll be showing you in a bit, was very strange, not something that people were used to. So people were like, what the hell happened in Nintendo? Well, I'll tell you what happened. They wised up, and they stopped trying to make a graphical powerhouse, and that would just glut the market with another system that would be just a main competitor to the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3. Instead, what Nintendo did in creating the Wii is they created a system that has no apparent rival, except for, of course, the DS, which is made by Nintendo. It has really no contemporary. Nothing really compares to it. By not making it a graphical powerhouse, they made it cheaper and easier for people who are not necessarily into games to get into. So Nintendo is tapping into a lot of markets that hadn't been tapped into before, getting new people into gaming. Whether you feel it's a positive thing or a negative thing is really neither here nor there, and please, I don't care. Don't tell me. I don't want to see the comments. Let's just talk about the actual console. It is the #1 selling console right now and has been, ever since its release back in 2006, still going strong. Shigeru Miyamoto, who helped design the thing, said that he basically wants to envision the Wii as something that you would naturally see next to a TV. I mean, what do you see when you look next to a TV? What do you expect to be near it? A stereo system? DVD player? Wii? Makes sense, doesn't it? Well, let's take a look at the actual console. And Nintendo went with a very interesting design choice. It's a lot smaller than its contemporaries, the Xbox 360 and the PlayStation 3, and it's actually pure white, which I think is interesting. Something that hadn't been done for a while. Usually consoles are either gray or black. The Xbox 360 is sort of an off-white. This is like a pure white. It's got a nice finish to it. Almost feels like metal. Of course it's plastic, but there you have it. And as you can see, it's an upright console. Of course you could lay it on the side like this, and it kind of looks like an old hard drive or like an old like a zip drive or like a CD burner from back in the day. Feel like this, but most people lay it like this, and there's actually a stand that comes with it. I'll show you the stand real quick. And you just pop the Wii right in there. Sorry, I'm not a lefty. Well, it's not perfect, but it's hard to do with only one hand. Well, anyway, let's take a look at the stand real quick. A nice close look. As you can see, the design is somewhat odd. It's mainly used to just plop the system down in there. And it's got this hole in the bottom for ventilation, which is a pretty good idea. So let's take a look at the actual system, huh? Well, here's the Wii. Now, let's take a look at the front of it first. This is the slot here where the discs go. You just put them in. And there's the reset button and the power button. Now, like a lot of modern computers and such, the Wii is never truly off. You can turn it to, standby mode, which in essence is off, but it's still on and actually will download updates and such. I tell you, one night I was sleeping and this flashing blue light from the disk drive, filled up the whole room, and I woke up scared the shit out of me. I didn't know what the Wii was doing. I wound up looking it up online, and it turned out to be nothing more than either I was receiving an email or an update. Probably an update, because I didn't see any new emails in there. And there's the eject button, which will pop the disc right out. Unfortunately, the power needs to be on for that, but, them's the bricks. Then there's this little door here, and if you, let me switch hands. If you pop this open, this is where you see two things. This is red button, and this is what you use to sync the the system up with its controller, because the controllers are all wireless. There's no place to plug in a controller. And if you use an SD card, which is basically a memory card, you can put it there. So you can see they're very small. They're about the same size as a one of the cards for the DS. This is a 2 GB model. I've not even used it yet because the system actually has its own flash memory. Not a hard drive, but flash memory, which is interesting. The sides of it are pretty featureless. There's one side. There's the other side. Absolutely featureless. You can see the ATI logo there, but that's about it. The bottom of it, well, there's the vent, and as you can see, the vent, as I mentioned, that's seems like a weird design choice because it's on the bottom, but like I said, some people will not lay it like that. They'll lay it like this. And if you lay it on the bottom, it's recommended that you use the stand because it will be elevated off the ground, and the stand has that hole for where that is. And of course, here's all the serial numbers and everything. I don't know if you can see it, but it says model number RVL001. RVL as in Revolution, which was the original name of the console. Now let's take a look at the top, which is very interesting. This is the first Nintendo console to be backwards compatible, meaning that it will play GameCube games. And to do that, you would simply just put the GameCube game in there like normal. And if you flip this up, there are 4 slots for GameCube accessories such as controllers or, bongos or whatever you're using to control your GameCube game. And then this part opens up there, and you can see there's 2 slots for GameCube memory controllers. So basically, it's very similar to the GameCube in its software and hardware, and it'll play GameCube games. It's a slightly more powerful console than the GameCube, but it's not like a huge leap, like from the Nintendo 64 to the GameCube was a huge leap. From the GameCube to the Wii, less of a huge leap. They didn't go for power, they went for innovation, which is pretty fine. And let's take a